Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is a little bit after 1 p.m. Sorry, I'm running a bit late here in New Vienna, Iowa. It's time for another live stream. Today is Wednesday, July something. July 14th, I think. I think it's July 14th, 2021. Hopefully you guys are doing okay. I don't have any of my watches on. I'm charging them now, so I don't know how to check the date, and this browser is in full screen mode, so I can't check it on the top either. So we're just going to go with the 14th for today. So I'm trying out this new setup again. I'm thinking it looks pretty good today, but we'll see how it goes, and we'll just run with it. If not, we can always revert back to the laptop webcam and try that. Hopefully you guys are doing all right. It is a stormy day here in Iowa. Perfect time for some afternoon coffee. And I think we're gonna do okay with internet. So sometimes when it storms really hard over here, the internet goes out. But right now the kids are streaming Boss Baby. There's a new Boss Baby movie out. And so they are watching that. So that's going on the internet. So I think the internet's all right. All right, let's say hi to everyone on the audio-only version of the podcast real quick. Hopefully you guys are having a good run out there today. Hopefully you're not getting any rain right now during your run. And everyone watching this on YouTube after that, hopefully you're at a nice and relaxing point in your day where you can enjoy an afternoon coffee or maybe something a little bit more interesting than that. All right, let's see who else we got here in the chat for today. We got Charles Ventura. Says, hey, co-fam, working, so won't be able to catch us live. We'll listen later during the run. Awesome. Very cool. I figured out a way to more quickly get stuff from StreamYard, which is what I'm using to record these, to Anchor, which is what I use to publish the podcast. So hopefully I'll be able to do that a little bit better with this new kind of setup that we're working on. But hopefully you're enjoying this. Charles, on your run. Mark Saltzman says, hello again, hello. Summer is great. I just got my new Reebok Float Right Energy version 3. Great color, nice fit, light and bouncy. Now all I have to do is get up and use them. Very cool. Very cool. Hope you enjoyed them. I do enjoy the Float Right Energy. Lucas says, what's going on, my running friends? Hey, Lucas. And Vincent's back, says, hello, co-fam. All right, Lee Joyce Chung is listening only today, and she's renovating, and it's very dusty. All right, well, hopefully the renovations go smoothly, and then there's no crazy surprises. Awesome. Time Matt is here. Very cool. And Kyle Patton says, yo, what's going on? Awesome. All right, PG. Said, hi, Kofuzi. Went for my first run today in the Novablast 2, and they are amazing. Your review was spot on. Cool. Guess what? Tomorrow's video, I normally save that for like the end of the podcast, but I'll talk about it now. Tomorrow's video is going to be, since we're talking about the Novablast 2, I just got to 100 miles in mine. So we'll talk about that from a long-term perspective and what my thoughts are on it. And spoiler alert, it's still great. So, but the other interesting kind of twist I have to it is that when I was in Baltimore, for Believe in the Run's open house, ASICS was one of the sponsors for the event. And so they were able to get, to me via Thomas. Thomas got for me a new pair of Novablast 2s, this time in black, which I'm a fan of. So I was able to, like, in the same day, in the morning, I went for a run in my, they had about like 90 miles in them at the time. Or maybe 80 miles in them, Novablast 2, and like a fresh out of the box pair, like within the same day, like morning and then later in the morning. So I'll be able to compare some notes on that too. So very cool. So that's what tomorrow will be about. And PG, it's very cool that you got yours. All right. And it says, hi, Kofuzi and everybody. Had a busy day wiring sockets and table lamp sockets in the house, making good use of the time in isolation, and 2 more days until freedom. Awesome. Very good. I'm glad that you're not going too crazy with the isolation there, and that it's coming to an end soon. Cool. All right. Kyle says, I ordered headphones at long last today. Anchor Soundcore Spirit X2. I don't think I'm familiar with those. Cool. Hope you enjoy them. And Jeff says, finally made one. Hello, people. Good to see you again, Jeff. I think it's been a while, hasn't it? Or, good to see it either way. And Terry Furlong says, good evening. Terry, I think you've changed your profile photo here. Is that right? Is that a new one? I think it's a new one. All right. Yeah, so I'm going to scroll down because I'm like way behind you guys in some of the chat. So I will, if I missed your running question, I don't want to make you have to repeat yourself, but if I missed your running question, put it in the chat again, and I'll catch it. All right. Remy Beal says, Remy says, what it do, Co? StreamYard is kind of intense, but getting the hang of it. Yeah, I think the thing with StreamYard that's intense, but you see it even when you use the YouTube live stream, is the chat that's on this side. There's just a lot of it that goes back and forth. So you're like trying to look at the camera, trying to interact with people, and then also trying to like manage the comments takes a while. And as you could, as I just did, sometimes you just have to like, all right, I can't keep up, so I got to scroll to the bottom and just kind of stay closer to you guys. All right, Leona says, hi, co-fam, the camera is super clear today. Yeah, so I'm thinking, I bought the pro version of that app I used the other day. I do find that if I move quickly for a little while, then it starts to get a little bit laggy. But for now, I feel like the image quality is pretty good. I'm also getting really good light from the window that's right behind the camera, because it's kind of bright, but it just rained. So like it's still somewhat cloudy. So it's like really diffuse light too. So that's kind of, so I think that's a couple of things working together. But I mean, for like a quick setup that doesn't require like my big camera and then like my my soundboard and microphones and all that stuff, I feel like this is pretty good. And I think Inez mentioned that it sounded better today. I'm just using the regular mic from the MacBook. I think the MacBook and like Mac product microphones are much better than people realize. And so I'm just gonna go with it. I think the earbuds that I was using last time were interfering somehow with something. And so I'm just gonna go without earbuds. So you might hear Boss Baby in the background because it's picking up kind of everything. All right, let's see. Mark wants to know, do you use Science and Sport energy gels? What's your favorite flavor? I do. I love them because they're a little bit more like liquid. I don't like real pasty gels. And so these are really, really thin. They're probably the thinnest in terms of like, if you open it, you could squeeze it out really easily. So I like that about it. My favorite is like, there's a citrusy one, or what do I have? I think it's citrus, or maybe it's lemon lime. It has caffeine in it. So that's the one that I normally get. I buy it, buy the 30 pack. And the price per serving is pretty good. So I like that one a lot. I've tried like a raspberry one before and I thought that was gross. And there's one that has mint in it that's just absolutely disgusting. But like all like the citrusy ones are the ones that I like. All right. Kyle says, Believe in the Run posted their first look at the Rincon 3 and the Bondi X. Not much to say on them though. Yeah. I saw them running in. Those are the shoes that they were running in the Summer Grit Miles video that I made that I had to blur out because the embargo was yesterday. And so I still don't have them yet. And I think the FedEx guy already came today. So it's going to be another couple of days, I think, until I get mine, or at least I can put a video on it. I am really looking forward to the Bondi X. The Rincon I'm excited about, but it's like one of those shoes like the Rebel 2, like the RC Elite 2, and a handful of other shoes where like the Audio 6, where I'm like, I don't need them now, so I'm not super excited about it now. I'll need them like in about like a month, 2 months. But the Bondi X, like I'm very excited about that. I think it looks beautiful. And I'm not sure if it's going to be like I don't know if it's just going to be like a beautiful like land yacht, just like super luxurious and just feels great. Or is it going to be like a big spruce goose? I'm not sure. I think it could go either way because it's just a giant looking shoe, but I don't know. I didn't probe too deeply. Robbie was wearing them that day that we ran together, and Megan was as well. And so for me, I know, and Megan and I had a quick talk about it too, like we have very similar taste in shoes or preferences. And so like for me, when I read the Believe in the Run stuff, if Megan says something, that's what I kind of like tune into because I know like we tend to line up pretty closely. So yeah. Jeff says the more durable Rincon can warrant another look. They did mention at that kind of like briefing that I got with lots of other people, not just me, but like they did like kind of like a press conference thing. People could ask questions if they wanted to too via Zoom. But they did mention that durability was something that they were looking at. And they were like, we have a lot of wear patterns that we've seen, and we just have a lot of, worn out like Rincons that they're looking at and examining to see like how they can improve it. So I think that there was an effort to improve on that. All right, Mike Cortuccio says, Can you recommend a non-plated shoe you would take the marathon distance? Love what you do. Thanks for the content you provide. Well, thank you. I would look at the Hyperion Tempo is one. I would look at the Boston 9, not the 10, because the 10 has a plate now, but the Boston 9 does not have a plate, and that is a fantastic one. I think that like the Razor 3, one of there are like plated versions and non-plated versions depending on if you're using the 3, the 3 Plus, the 3, there's all sorts of different ones. I think that's probably another one that could go the marathon distance. I would also look at the Mach 4, the Novablast, even the Clifton, depending on kind of what your kind of like cushioning preferences are. I think those will all be really great choices. Steve says he's resting the Achilles today, being sensible. Loads of runners out this evening as the weather is lovely. I'm very jealous. Yeah, see, I'm also kind of feeling a little bit of Achilles, or I was yesterday at the workout. But today I went for an easy run right through town in Dyersville, and I didn't feel it at all. So I did feel it like later on this morning as I was coming up the stairs, I think. But during the run, I didn't feel it. So I feel like, you know, that was more my Achilles thing was due to the fact that I'm just not used to running in spikes. And so spikes have kind of like a negative drop if you think about it, because they're built to kind of elevate your heel. At least that's where the spike plate is designed. And then if you're jogging or walking in them, you're kind of like negative dropping. So I think that's just the strain of that was doing it. And so hopefully it's not, that's just like a stretching strain and not like a, you know, I damaged it kind of strain. I don't know if there's a difference, but today I don't feel it. So hoping that's a good thing. But yeah, resting the Achilles it's a tricky thing. I just feel like when I was in high school, I felt like it was like, and it basically once it started happening in the season, it never went away for the rest of the season. It was just something that kind of like persisted. Kevin Bickerton wants to know, why is the background the opposite way around? I think it's just the way this app is. I think I could fix that. Yesterday I tried fixing something with it, and then it just like, it froze. So I wonder if it's like that. See how like this word Yeti, it's backwards? Because it's not, some apps like flip it around for you and some don't. So you're actually looking at a reverse image. It's kind of bothering me too. I see it. Yeah. All right. Let's see. James Aylward wants to, I just saw a bolt of lightning up there. Caught my eye. James Aylward says, I had a chance to test the Puma Deviate Elite. I have not. So that's one I've been saying, like they should have really come out with that shoe a lot earlier in the year. I know that they were, I don't know why they waited longer. I don't think that they intended to wait longer. I think there was some other logistical reason why they had to wait on that one. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Maybe it was that one or the other one that just came out. That was the one that was, I don't remember, but it's something that I may get to. We'll have to see. I'm not sure. I'm kind of on the fence on it. All right. Daniel M says, if there were one shoe to rule them all, I'm saying it's the Clifton. That is a good one. I would probably say one shoe to rule them all. If you can only buy one shoe for the year. One for the year, though, then you would want something that's probably a little bit more durable. If there was one shoe that if I could only buy one shoe for an entire year of running, that's a lot of miles of running. I might go with something that I know is going to be a little bit more durable, like maybe like an 880 version 11, because there's so much rubber on the outsole. Or maybe like something from Asics that has just a ton of rubber on the outsole. But if I'm just saying, like if for a period of time until the shoe died, I can only run one shoe at a time, it would be the Novablast 2 or the Mach 4. Those are just two really great ones. Speedy Boy wants to know, do you ever hit the gym? I mean, I have a gym membership. So when I swim back in Chicago, I do go to a gym, but I don't spend any time in there except at the pool. I just don't like being inside still. I also don't like gyms generally. So it's like a very easy reason for me to kind of avoid doing something I don't like doing. For me right now, I do mobility work, everything body weight. And then, it's harder now because I'm not at home in Chicago, but in Chicago, right where my run ends, there's a little spot that is very convenient for doing a lot of plyometrics. So like I really enjoy doing that. So that's something that I would rather do rather than like weights. Yeah, I just I've not been a big fan of it for a long time. Adam wants to know, did the worn track surface affect you at all? I just got back from running on a cinder track. Yeah, the track surface that I was at, that's at the local high school here, it's not the softest track, but it's still a track. It's still a rubber material that's on there, and it's nice to run on. I don't think, well, I mean, maybe. My feet really hurt yesterday because I had a long workout. It was 8 4s and 3 miles. So like 3 mile repeats and 8 400s total. It's just a long time to be on a track in spikes. And then, the hurdle drills too. So like my feet were feeling pretty like beat up by the evening. Today they feel great. But last night I was like just walking around the house barefoot and I was like, ooh, my feet hurt today. So that's how it affected me. Fortunately, it hasn't, none of that traveled to any other joints or anything. So I'm feeling pretty good. But I think if it were something, I was like thinking about it. I'm like, oh, okay, this is why like 5,000 and 10,000 meter runners don't run in, like, that's why there's different spikes, because it's just as fast as the surface is, it's still a pretty hard surface. Now, if you're running in road shoes and running on a track, then that's like one of the bounciest things you can run on. But running in like spikes on a track, that kind of took a toll on me for sure. Martha said the Boston 9 for a 1 shoe year. Yeah, I think the Boston 9 could do it because you got the Continental rubber. I don't know. I just feel like with the Boston 10, I really feel like, as much as I hate the word X, like the letter X, like when it's used in product names, I feel like they could have gone a Boston 10 and a Boston X. Especially since, I was thinking that maybe the Audio 6 is like the secret heir to the Boston legacy, but it does. I've been hearing mixed reviews. I think Martha, you were saying that it wasn't quite what you were hoping for. So like, I feel like they should have like, kind of like what Hoka's doing with the Bondi. I think that they're still going to make more Bondis. Well, I haven't seen anything about a Bondi 8 this year, but they're going to have like the X and then the Bondi, or like Clifton and Clifton Edge. But here's the thing. I also don't like it when there's like 2 variants of the same name, like all the ASICs, like the Nimbus Lite. I can't stand that. So I don't know. I'm not sure what I like as far as those are concerned. But as far as the Boston 9, people, if you like the Boston 9, go buy them. Get them before they're gone, because I don't think they're going back to what that was. Gabriel says, please make a cooking with Kofuzi video. Thanks. I'll try. It's easier to do the cooking videos here because my mother-in-law's kitchen is really big, so there'll be space for it. I did make, my daughter likes to cook a lot, and so we made a couple of cooking videos for her, and just to share it amongst family. But like I edited it, there was slow motion footage and stuff, so the B-roll, so it was pretty fun. But maybe I'll do a cooking with Kofuzi video. I think it'd be better to do it like if I were cooking like on a grill, then I could just put the grill like in the middle of like a grassy field. That would be kind of fun. I would do that. Terry Furlong saying for like the 1 shoe, the 511 ATAC 2.0 8-inch storm boots, used them for years at a time when I still worked. Huge, but you can run them. Can you run those? Yeah, I mean, tactical boots though, I'm not sure I'd want to do a lot of running in that, but I suppose there are many people who do a lot of running in those. Yeah. Brendan Cam's here. What's going on, Brendan? Good to see you. And Will Willing says, will Adidas continue to make the Boston 9? I feel like they should. I mean, especially like, if they could make a, one, or just make one more big run of them. And then, just keep selling them as the Boston 9. I think even at full price, people would still buy it. Because if you don't like the Boston 10, and if you don't want the Audio 6, the solar boost isn't going to give you what you got out of the Boston 9. So like there could be a gap in the lineup. The SL20 isn't giving it to you either, you know? All right, Stephen May says, I've been loving the Dragonfly. Put in 15K on the track on Monday with no problems. Really? Someone else mentioned like, hey, you should have got the Dragonflies. And I'm like, it seems like a lot. You know, like in 2 weeks, I'm not going to need a pair of spikes for a while again, I think. Although, I don't know. I'm kind of liking being on the track and like just practicing different things. It's kind of fun. So I could see myself like getting into like another, like, so there's like the marathoner sub niche of running. There's like the ultra runner sub niche of running, trail sub niche, and then like people that do like still like track and field. So like I could see, I mean, I'm going to go visit that world in a couple of weeks. So we'll see. Maybe I will need more spikes. So we'll see. But putting 15K on a track in spikes and not having problems, that's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. All right. Remy wants to know about a try update, secretly what I tuned in for before getting back to work. All right. So I did another swim today. Some new toys that I got. I got a snorkel. So you get like, you put it on and do your drills and not have to worry about breathing, which tends to trip me up quite a bit, like mechanics wise. I got some swim fins, and I've had the pull buoy and the kickboard. I brought all of those toys to the pool with me today just to do a variety of different kind of like drills. And, you know, I vacillate back and forth between thinking like, oh, I've made a breakthrough, and like, oh, I'm gotten nowhere. So like the swimming is still like pretty much the only thing that I'm really thinking about right now as far as triathlon training goes. And, you know, I go back and forth in terms of my confidence. I'm thinking that like, you know, all I really need to be able to do is string together a couple, like, 15 100s with 14 like short breaks to breaststroke for a little while. I just feel like I need to figure out like what's my best option for like a recovery stroke so I can still be in the water, rest a little bit, and then swim. Because I just think that like for me right now, the idea of like just head down swimming for 1500 meters seems not realistic. So what I found is the longer I go, the more I kind of like everything speeds up again, and I speed up, and then my body movements speed up and my swimming slows down. And then I start to feel like I'm panicking. And then my arms start to get a little tingly, in a sense that like, you know, like when you're running hard and you're running faster than like say threshold, for example, you start to feel it different parts of your body. I get that feeling, but in my arms when I'm thrashing around. And so like, I got to find ways to just keep everything really calm. So that's what I'm working on. And today's not like a great day on that in terms of like how I'm overall feeling. All right, guys, I think that I'm going to have to switch back to the MacBook camera for now. All right, because I'm getting some warnings here. So let me do that. All right, now everything should be flipped back around to the correct way. And see, I've got a MacBook is like the main problem, and I have to charge it up. The battery is not there. So, all right, here we go. Thank you for your patience. Oh, Philip Rod for the one shoe challenge. It would be the glide ride. Oh, you know, I was thinking about the glide ride again because Aldrin, one of the Believe in the Run crew people who ran with us and hung out like all weekend, he on Saturday was hanging out in the glide ride, and I was like, that's a shoe that I need to really make sure I check out. I didn't see it last year, and I regretted it. And hopefully I don't skip out on it again this year. Yeah. All right. James Elwood said, which is more challenging, swim training or math training? Swim training is a lot more challenging, just because, you know, the idiom that I want to keep using is that I feel like a fish out of water when I'm swimming. But it seems like it's really weird to use that phrase when I'm in water, you know? So, but that's kind of how I feel about it. And so it's like, it's just so disorienting. MAF training is just annoying because I'd rather just run fast. And you could do that. But swim training, I can't swim faster. I also can't swim slower. All I can do is swim like the speed I'm swimming, even though I know it's not great for me. You know what I mean? So like, I just either I have to swim the way I'm swimming, which is not right, or I have to drown, or sink. You know, not drown. But you know, that's kind of how I feel about this one. All right. Let's see, a couple more. We got from Remy says, yeah, I've been able to recover while breathing every stroke and slowing way down. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I just need to slow it down. And Sun Kim says, we'll be deciding between the Novablast 2 and the ZoomX Invincible for my daily training. So far, I've really been enjoying the Invincible for long runs, 10 plus miles. I can't wait to try the Novablast 2. And he says, thanks for the review between these two fantastic shoes. Yeah, I mean, I think people that do like the ZoomX Invincible will also like the Novablast 2, although they do feel very different. But I feel like, you know, those will be two shoes that people will like. And Modan wants to know best overall spike in your opinion. I don't have enough knowledge to. I can't name more than 2 spikes right now. That's the thing. I mean, I could say like there's the New Balance one, and I could say like, you know, there's the Dragonfly, and then there's the one that I bought. So like that's, you know, and then there's like the Hoka one. And I just heard from I don't know if I'm allowed to share this information, but no one told me that it was embargoed. But at that thing that I was at yesterday, Danny Shanahan, Hoka NAZ Elite Runner Danny Shanahan was there, and she was talking about the Bondi X and the Rincon 3. She was also saying that she enjoys racing in the new Hoka spike, which she said was going to be I think if she was talking about what I think she was talking about, that new Hoka spike, I think she said is coming out in spring 2022. So that one really looks really interesting to me. So that's one. I mean, I don't know what I'll be doing in spring of 2022, but if I need a spike, I might look at that one. But that one's not going to be out for a while. I don't know what the rules are for spikes and general availability and that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't even know what the rules are for marathon shoes anymore. They keep changing the rules. All right. Michael says, question about the Masters race. Are you going to be running with everyone doing the 3,000 meter steeplechase, or only the 5 people in your age group? If everyone, how do you know who you're competing with? My understanding is that they just send them all out. Because that, like, can you imagine if there was like 8 runnings of a 3,000 meter steeple, Masters, from like age 40 to like age 70 or 80, whatever the highest age group happens to be showing. Although I think after age 60, you drop down to 2,000 meters. But I just think it would take all day. And so they send them all out at once. I think it's maybe basically up to you to figure out who your competition is within your age group. I think that's how they do it. That's my understanding. I really have no idea. I know about as much as you guys do, I think. I have a lot of reading I need to do. Brendan Cam saying he's been running in the Novablast 2 for the last couple of days, and me oh my, is that a beaut? It is nice, isn't it? And G-Gory99 says, hey Mike, will there be any hint for low stack shoes coming up in the near future, kind of like racing flat ones? Yeah, I don't know of any that are coming up. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't know of any that are really jumping out at me. All right. All right. Let's scroll down a little bit further. Simon Hung wants to know, what do you do with all your shoes? How do you have time to run in all of them? I have time to run in all of them because I run every day, or try to run every day. With some of this triathlon training, I've been taking more rest days. But on those rest days, I usually will like swim and bike, or maybe just bike. So that's kind of how I've been splitting it up. But, you know, when you run 7 days a week, or, you know, as I like to think of it, like 13 out of every 14 days, you know, you get a chance to run through a lot of shoes. But, you know, I typically run maybe like 50 to 60 miles a week. So that kind of gives you a lot of mileage to spread around. And then what do I do with them all? Like, well, I mean, right now they're in a giant bag, like back there somewhere, like a big blue IKEA bag. And at home, they're like spread out in various like cubbies and other places throughout the house. And when I'm done with them, I usually donate them to charity. So I don't have room to keep them all. I wish I did to make like a big shoe wall. Like Thomas has 2 shoe walls. Seth has his like shoe garage. Like he has that storage locker and stuff. So, you know, I don't have space to do all that stuff. All right. DJ Maldib says, hey, y'all. In week 6 of Fitzinger's 1870, preparing for Chicago. Anyone else suffering through this humidity in the Northeast? It's been raining every day and humid in central Pennsylvania. Just brutal. 2 points. Oh, that makes it tough. But they say that humidity is the poor man's altitude or something like that, right? So it'll be good for you, I guess, especially as things cool down. Hopefully we get really nice weather for Chicago this year. Or if it's very humid, then you'll already be acclimated and you'll do great. So, but I can feel your pain. Terry Zoo says, what is the S for on the new Hoka shoes? W is width, V is volume. Yeah, I forget. Is the S for the stack height? I'm trying to remember. Like they have all these numbers on them, and it's not stack. I don't think it's stack height. I'm trying to picture, but I Googled it, and that's how I was able to figure out what those numbers mean. But like, oh, like spring or something like that. It's something weird. I think spring. Yeah. So, all right, Scotty B's here from Minnesota. Awesome. Good to see you again, Scotty. And CK Stoner says, yeah, if you want humidity, try Southern Florida. Yeah, I can only imagine. I don't think I've run in Southern Florida in the heat. Well, I'm trying to think. The last time I ran in Southern Florida, well, Orlando's not Southern Florida. Is it? It's not considered Southern Florida. That would have been in like a February, so that was pretty nice. And then I ran in Florida in July one time, but that was before my baby was born. So that was probably 6, maybe 8 years ago. So it's been a while. Yeah. DJ Modib says, I've been wondering if the humidity is good for me. I mean, I'm getting very slowly acclimated, was able to push it a bit today, but my 10 miles at marathon pace on my Sunday long run was a complete disaster last week. I mean, that's going to be a tough one. That's going to be tough to do in a lot of humidity. So, yeah, so that's why I really like to train by power or heart rate. For marathon miles, I do like heart rate because, especially if you're doing a 10-mile at marathon effort, then the heart rate is kind of like a good indicator and should be relatively low and stable. So it's not something that like the lag of heart rate is going to create a problem. So maybe that might be something until you get a little bit more acclimated. But, you know, I think at a certain point, I don't know how much people can get acclimated to humidity. You can acclimate to heat. And that was something, what was it? Alex Hutchinson, I would say Matt Hutchinson, but Alex Hutchinson posted something today saying that like 40 minutes in a hot tub, like not a hot tub, but like a hot bath, may be better for heat acclimation than 60 minutes of hot running. And so you hear about everyone like Goggins or people that run with like all their like winter clothes on in the summer. It may be better for you to just run regular and then sit in hot water for 40 minutes after the run. They say there's something about that that's supposed to be really good for heat acclimation. For humidity, I'm not sure. It's just like the air gets so thick, you know, that's like the hard part of it. It's like the opposite of altitude. All right. Danny, 40 plus and running in California. I love it. Says no humidity out here in Central California, just heat, sunshine, and smoke/haze. Yeah. You know what's weird is so I was watching the Pillars YouTube channel. Dylan, I don't know if it's just Dylan Bowman's channel and he calls it Pillars, or I'm not sure exactly what all that is about. But Dylan Bowman's been training in Mammoth Lakes for Hard Rock, which I guess is this week, coming up this week, right? And so what amazes me is like there are places that are like in Mammoth Lakes that are at altitude, and then like what do they call them when there's like a lake in a mountain? You know what I mean? Like there's mountains, and then all of a sudden it'll be at like 8,000 feet, and there'll be a pond or a lake or body of water up in there. And that always amazes me because anytime I go somewhere with altitude, I just feel like I could feel the air sucking the moisture out of me, like through my skin, right? Yeah, Alpine Lake is an alpine lake, right? So like whenever there's an alpine lake, anywhere there's an alpine lake, I feel like the moisture gets sucked out of everything. How is there a body of water? Like how does it not all evaporate into that atmosphere? It just boggles my mind. So like I just feel like out of all the natural phenomena that can exist, but it's up there. Like the existence of alpine lakes, just because I don't normally get to see them living in Chicago and in the Midwest, but also just kind of like my experience with altitude and how dry it is. Like I don't, it just boggles my mind. Maybe it's just me. Stevie 76 talking about that heavy air says that's heavy. I love a good Back to the Future reference. Awesome. Adam Pierce, he's a 19. Were you a 1980 marathon Olympian? Really? You didn't go because of the boycott? You used to wear multiple layers of sweats when training in Georgia? I can't imagine that. That sounds crazy. Amazing. Really cool, Adam. All right. Linus FT says, I've been in Singapore for almost all my life with 29 to 32 degrees Celsius and 80 to 90% humidity. That's mind-boggling. But when I came to Canada, I felt that my breath was so light and pace was much faster. Yeah, I bet. That's got to be like just such like a relief, because that's just oppressive heat. Really crazy. But who's the ones that are moving to who's moving to? I know it's not. Well, who's moving to Thailand? Is it This Messy Happy? Right? They're moving to Thailand. That's kind of like the kind of temperature that they're going to have over there. So, yeah, that's just that's hot. It's hot. It's humid. It's tough to run in. Oh, Adam says Benji Jordan, not me. Okay, all right. I thought you were saying that you were the Olympian. Sorry about that. Daniel M says, in Canada, the wind is too polite to be against you. That's funny. Mark says, I wish I was moving to Thailand. Magic Kingdom is getting old. Oh, yeah, I suppose. All right. Martha says, I always have to chime in at 7,900 feet where she is, nothing is the same as this low air pressure. Thank God we don't have 3-digit heat and or humidity on top. Yeah, it's a different kind of temperature when you're in the mountains. I always have a hard time, not that I have a lot of experience going to elevation, but anytime I do, like I'm like, wait, what's the weather forecast? How do I pack for this trip? I just don't know. So whenever I go somewhere where it's going to be at altitude, I just pack for like basically 3 seasons, like late fall, like early winter, spring, and summer. Just because I'm like, I think in the morning I'll need a bubble coat, and at lunchtime I'm going to need a tank top and short shorts, and then in the evening I'll probably need like a pullover. That's kind of how I feel about anywhere with elevation. Modan said, how'd you come up with your channel name? Well, Kofuzi comes from my last name, Ko, and it's a play on like Confucius. So instead of Confucius, it's Kofuzi. It's kind of where it comes from. All right. Corian says, hey, Ko, how do you structure your track workouts in Polar or another app? Which one is your favorite and gives the best bang for buck? Well, these last couple that I've been doing on the track, I usually just click the button. I manually do the lap timer because on the track with Polar, I don't think Polar has like a track function. So like if I wanted to do 200s, it would tend to be off. It wouldn't like be very even. It wouldn't exactly start at the start line or finish line or wherever I'm starting, and end at the appropriate spot. But I've been using the track mode in the Wahoo, but the only way to do structured workouts on Wahoo is through Training Peaks, which I don't use. So that's something that I probably need to figure out, but I haven't been doing it yet. So for track workouts where I'm measuring everything precisely on the track, I'll probably just try to memorize the workout and hit the lap button. When I do other structured workouts, generally, you can do Polar. That one's pretty easy to do, and they've made some updates to it recently, which make it, I think, the exact same experience, or pretty much the exact same experience. I think there was a difference for a while on phone versus web, or like desktop. So you could do it in the app. Other apps that give you that can do it are, if you're an iPhone, then you can use like iRun 26.2 or Work Outdoors, and they can build structured workouts really easily there too. So that's what I would use in kind of those applications for that, depending on what ecosystem that you're in. Thomas Mackey says, in Boulder for a month training, coming from having lived in Detroit, Chicago, Boston, the altitude has been fine, but the constant rate on every run I've gone on has been a bit of a challenge. Yeah, I can imagine. But I mean, if the altitude's fine for you, then I would say, like, tackle those hills, go for it, go for the rollers. But that's cool. I want to try. I want to try like a training camp. Something that I've been like seeing around a lot more on, I don't know if it's like more of these things are now popping up, or if they've always been there, but like people just haven't been like as accustomed to like sharing their running publicly, like on the internet as much. But I'm seeing more people that are doing, like, they're going to training camps or like running camps, like as adults that are not professionals, not professional runners, like those kinds of things. And I'm like, oh, I want to do one like that, So like, even like for Western states, I know like Western states has like a training weekend where you run, I think, like 60 or 70 miles of the course over the course of 3 days. Like that seems much, in some ways that seems more fun than running the race itself. Because then you're still seeing the course, but it's more pleasant. It's not as much of a toll on your body. I know that's the part of the point of the race, but like I love the idea of like traveling somewhere I made the joke about having like the Kofuzi non-elite training camp, but like actually going to a running camp, I think would be fun. Those exist for adults, right? For grownups? That's a thing? I want to look into that. All right. What else we got here? James Edwards says, startup shoe company FBR just launched a shoe with no heel. I think they're on version 2 now. Adarna Finn ran in it. I think Matt Fitzgerald's running it before too, I want to say. Or maybe Alex Hutchinson, one of those two guys. And then the Running Channel, I think they reviewed both version 1 and version 2 of that shoe. It's an interesting idea. It reminds me of Jump Soles, those plyometric shoes that I had in high school. Corey Allen says, about the question about building workouts for the watch, he says, thanks, Co. I've been building the workouts in Polar Flow desktop app, but some of those workouts that you do, I've been envying your track work. I've been pulling those workouts out of Jack Daniels for like I think he does like 3,000 to 5K runners. Like he does like a program for that. He has a couple of different structured plans. And so I've been kind of cherry picking some workouts based on, what do I want? Do I want just 200s? Do I want just 400s? Last time I wanted something that was at least had some like 600s or more. So I was kind of just like picking from it. Since I'm getting closer to the race, I'm picking ones that are closer to like the end of the plan. So I've been doing that. And yeah, I don't, sometimes I'm like, do I need to be running this faster? I'm not sure. So that's where I'm like, because I haven't like raced a mile. So I'm like, I think this is like where my mile PR would be, but I'm actually not sure. That 600 at 5:20 pace was like the was it 5:20 pace? It took me 2 minutes to do that, but that was like the longest I've run kind of like at that speed. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe I could run a mile at that speed, but I don't know. Those 600s hurt. But it's been kind of fun to do that and like think about things in terms of 200s rather than, you know, a mile, 2 mile reps or like 10 mile like reps or 10-minute reps, you know, like, so it's been fun to kind of dip down into that different kind of space. All right, let's see, how are we doing on time here? All right, I think we got to start wrapping it up soon. Let's get one more. All right. All right, Matt says, of all your new sports, what are you liking? Steeplechase, triathlete, rock climbing? Pick one. Pick one. That's hard. Well, I think I might have to lean towards the rock climbing, even though I only did it twice. But I like that one because that's one I could do with my daughter. So that's kind of like I guess that's the dad answer. But if I'm picking it from like which sport do I enjoy the most? I do really enjoy swimming. Like I enjoy like the challenge of it. It's really frustrating, but like the swimming I like. I don't know if I don't know if I like the whole triathlete part yet, but like I do like the swimming a lot. So if I were to pick of those three right now, I'd say the triathlon training is probably the most interesting to me and the one that I'm like, oh, I can't wait till the next session. So like that's been a lot of fun for me, trying to like figure out all the different moving parts of the swim has been really challenging. So, but in a good way, in a very stimulating way. And, you know, I'm getting in a lot of work that I feel really good about, like, you know, fitness wise, but it's just so easy on the body in terms of impact. And so like, there's a lot of like pluses in it for me. So I have been really enjoying that one. All right, I think that's a good place to end it for today, guys. That was a great question, Matt. Thanks for asking that. I already mentioned tomorrow's video is going to be about the Novablast 2, so that'll be up tomorrow, hopefully morning, maybe later morning for that one. And then we'll do another live stream. Tomorrow's Thursday, so happy hour. Bring your recovery beverage of choice, and hopefully I'll see you then. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.